This is Juliet, and today I would like to talk to you about authentic leadership. So what I've found through my clients and several discussions is they're mainly based on three big pillars. And I would like to demonstrate them to you through examples that I've encountered with my clients. So the first of them is about being authentic before being a leader, being authentic as a person. So the example would be of a manager presenting in front of his team. So in a public setting, you can say, where he's exposed and where he gets attacked. So what is the trigger in that moment, if it was for you? And what reaction do you actually have in that situation? Do you get angry, defensive? Do you feel like running away? Or do you feel stuck and frozen in that situation, not able to respond? Whatever it might be, what is the visceral reaction to that? Because often it is more important that what we're sensing, we need to really capture that, not just what is going on in our mind or racing through our mind at that moment, but rather what is the visceral, physical reaction to that moment. And in what ways is it different from how you would have liked to react? So this is really like a demonstration of how we need to perceive ourselves authentically, know ourselves. So it's really about saying, know thyself before you can start moving and approaching towards your team members, towards other people. About really being authentic with yourself, about who you are, who you feel, and who you would like to be, to bringing them into congruence. The second part that I would like to address is an example of a difficult conversation with a staff member. Let's say, for example, when it's of a failing performance and you need to address that during a discussion. What are you reacting to it? How are you doing it? Do you procrastinate? Do you delay the meeting? Or do you a little bit beat around the bush? What's your reaction? Because it is uncomfortable. Again, it is a situation that you need to face, look into the eyes of your team member and say something negative, something that might be constructive, but still is criticism. And so you might be afraid of the reaction of the person or how you need to defend yourself when you're addressing this issue. So in this moment, being fully authentic is also being about being empathetic and kind. So with the prerequisite of really knowing yourself, knowing your own reaction to how you validate or how you react to that situation yourself, you can give more space to the person you're talking to, because you can kind of exclude your own situation. You can really be steadfast and confirmed in your own being so that you can give the space to the person you're talking to, listening really to their reactions, being empathic and kind. That was one of the words that I heard often from leaders who say, I'm trying to be kind and diplomatic while conveying a message that might be hard to hear. And I understand that it is hard to hear for them, because it would be for me too. So try to convey it in a way that is really constructive, that helps them grasp the lesson and the message out of it, because you might be really trying to help them move forward in their career. Okay, and so the third one is an example of a new leader, a young leader coming into a new company, and who is confronted to a situation where there is a technology he doesn't know about, and he needs to discuss an issue with his team, because of course there's a problem to be solved. So instead of pretending that he just knows everything and has all the answers, he really says so. He just says, listen, he gets his team together and says, I don't know what this is about. Tell me about this. And how do you handle this usually in the company? So if you would have just pretended, he could have just fell flat on his face. But instead of it, he really appealed to the collective intelligence, the collective wisdom of his team, and showed vulnerability. And of course, they stepped up, because at this moment, he was a new leader. Instead of just going and, control and command, telling them what to do, he was really relying on the strength and knowledge of all of his team members. And they responded, of course, in respect to that. So they stepped up, and he put himself more in the role of a servant leader, you can say. So instead of just, imposing his views onto everybody, he kind of put himself on the side, being the coach, you can say, to the team, and helping each of the members get the best out of their contribution. And this has a huge effect also on the team, because he spoke about it afterwards, that his team members felt so validated, and they felt heard, they felt approved. And of course, they were trying to impress their new boss as well. It was important for them. And they felt being part of a bigger thing of the team itself than just each of them in their own corner, you can say. So showing vulnerability on his side led to his team being more constructive, being more all in and wanting to contribute and feeling more validated, engaged. So especially during these times where there's a lot of distributed companies forcefully, it is important to listen to the employees. They might feel a bit disconnected and really not part of the team anymore, because physically we're not necessarily in the same space. And so especially during distributed situations like this, if it's for long term or if it's just for intermediary, people want to feel that they belong to something bigger. And so when, as a team and as a leader, you can show a little bit of vulnerability, it helps them to step up, because they know that their leader trusts them. It helps them to feel more engaged and more into the whole company and part of the company, because they're contributing. So these are the 3 points that I wanted to discuss with you. And so I would like you to also think about, what is your role that you're playing in your company? And does it correspond to what you would like to be playing? Is it aligned with your values and your beliefs? Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and talk to you soon.